All right, Jamie. Yeah, we have help here. We have Jeff Saturday and we have Tim Hasselbeck. And Jeff, let's start with you because you know a little bit about what the Falcons are feeling this morning. You went against Tom Brady 13 times in your career, some of those on the postseason stage as well. What was different last night? What did you see from Brady last night that stood out to you?
I mean, I think at the end you just saw his will to win. I mean, he struggled. This was a tough ball game for him. I mean, you think he got hit a lot. He got hit early and often, and not just because of the offensive line. They did a good job in coverage behind it, which allowed time, but he still got hit because they were relentless in their pass rush. And you just watched as this game went on. He took a lot of shots, and he threw some errant balls. And then when he kind of got into a rhythm, his teammates are dropping important passes, but you never saw them getting after each other on the sideline. And I think that in itself, that leadership, that kind of will to win, he saw the defense wearing down. And no disrespect to the Falcons' defense. They were on the field forever. Yeah. And so 27 attempts in the fourth quarter, that's a ton of ball to try to rush the passer. But you just saw the fortitude, just the way he pressed forward, and that's the way his team rallies around him. I mean, you think about how many football teams would have been in all kinds of disarray on the sideline when your best players are dropping ball, or when your quarterback, your franchise quarterback, is throwing it in a bad way. So everybody took their turns making mistakes, but the way he steered that ship, it was absolutely incredible.
The way the game played out too, after Gostkowski misses that extra point, the entire time that's playing in the back of your mind, it's 28-12. You're like, they got to get two-point conversions the rest of the way, right?
Absolutely.
And then when it's 28-20 and he's driving down the field, I'm like, it doesn't matter if they score. They got to get the conversion. We saw their season end a year ago in Denver, not getting that two-point conversion. What did you notice on that two-point conversion here to tie the game up and force overtime?
They basically copied a concept that Atlanta had run in the postseason earlier this year against the Seattle Seahawks. That's really what happened. This is Atlanta against Seattle in the divisional round of the playoffs. You stack the wide receivers to get off coverage, and then the ball comes out right away, and you can't make the play. Now, obviously, from a little bit further out. Well, look at what New England does here. They short motion Danny Amendola to stack it. That backs off the defender, and it's catch and fall forward in the end zone. A lot of times, these wide receiver type screens the ball goes out to the numbers, and everyone's kind of leading outside. This was different. This was, you stack them to get softer coverage. You only need, you basically need to get 3 yards is what you need to be inside the end zone. And so what they did was they took a concept that Kyle Shanahan had run against the Seattle Seahawks, and they ran it against the Atlanta Falcons defense, and that's what tied the game up at 28-all.
That's amazing.
It's absolutely.
It just takes a little bit of energy.
Just watch Freeney on the play. Freeney's he's offside. He gets a jump, but if he's not, maybe Brady hits him in the head with the ball. I mean, so many things happen that just it is split second. Yeah, he was too far. I mean, it just all of those things. And a 2-point conversion. Tim and I both know, man, that's tough sledding. To get 2 of them,
yes.
Listen, in your game plan, your menu of plays. You have one you really like.
That's right.
You might not take much of the other one.
Yeah, the other one's like,
yes. And that one's the force overtime.
It's unbelievable.
And you busted out a trick play on one of them, right? Where Brady
Listen, that was going back to like Dave Meggett, direction that type stuff.
Belichick's early Super Bowl wins.
Right.
All right. Back, Jeff Saturday. You just heard the Falcons talk. How'd they lose this game, man?
Oh, this is brutal. This is a brutal one to go through. But they had miscues at the end of the game. I mean, you think on 3rd and 1, everything's going their way, and they either they go to a pass or they check to a pass, and Hightower the strip sack. This is a brutal time in this game. I mean, it's one of those. And then look back, 2020, you're looking back, you want to say, hey, run it and punt it. At least you're eating up clock and you're taking you're getting your defense, you're keeping defense off the field. A big change like this, then they have momentum. And now you go back the other way. The very next drive, Julio Jones makes an absolutely incredible catch on the sideline. One of the best plays in Super Bowl history. Gets both feet down. You're in kickoff. You're in kickoff. Field goal range.
Yes, you are.
It's here, right? We've got this game. We'll go up 10. This game's over. It's in. And again, you go back. You can't take the sack. Matt Ryan, he gets pressure up the middle. Cannot happen. Throw that thing away again. Hindsight's always 20/20. Yeah. It pains me to understand why you wouldn't just eat it. And on the very next play, you give up a sack. The very next play, you actually get yourself back in the field goal range, but it's a penalty, right? You're holding. So now you have to punt, and now you're giving that Patriots offense. By the way, your defense is flat out gassed. They've played a ton of football plays. They've rushed the passer an insane amount, which we all know just takes a significant toll on the defensive line, the front seven, and the DBs. It's almost an impossibility. And so as you're looking at the way this thing went down, mistakes that you do to yourself, and we talk about it all the time. More games are lost than won in the NFL. That's a 20. Now, the Patriots still had to do a ton to win it, so I'm not taking it that way. But the Falcons didn't do what they had to do to win, and that was just clock management, understanding the moment, understand situational football, which should have been talked about a number of times on the sideline as you're going in. What do we got to get done? 3 runs and a punt. They still can't win this football game. 3 runs and a field goal, we win the football game. And just have that mindset of understanding this is what it takes. It ain't got to be pretty now, boys. We've let them back in. This isn't going to be a pretty win. This is going to be a grinder, but here's how we get it done.
Yeah, and you can somewhat relate because Super Bowl 44, you guys were up 10-0.
Yes.
Before last night, that had previously been the largest comeback in Super Bowl history. So